Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kenna and I am a mom of three sharing my motherhood journey with you. If you're interested in everything motherhood, this is the channel for you. Please consider clicking on that subscribe button. You're definitely going to love it here. If you have questions you want to ask, if you have topics that you'd like me to talk about, just drop in the comment section and I am going to try my best to do videos about that. That said, let's go straight into today's video. Today we have another episode of In My Opinion and I am just going to be answering random questions I saw on the internet as usual. So if you like to see all that, just keep watching. Okay, so let's go straight into the first question. We have this. My 18-year-old help is obsessed with her phone. In fact, she presses her phone and forgets all that she has to do here. I'm very soft with her, not for anything though, but I believe she should be free irrespective of her being a house help. I have talked about this to her several times, but no changes. The annoying part is the fact that my kids are all over her whenever she's on the phone, watching comedy, I guess, and I'm trying to restrict my kids from internet, age 7 and 2 respectively. If I shout now, they will dissolve, but tomorrow they are back and it's really annoying. First thing that I see here is you being emotional. I have said it in the Nanny is not my sister, my friend, my anything video. I said it there that it's true. The lines when it comes to having a nanny, it's really thin, right? It's really a thin line. But you have to remember that this is the person's job. Ask yourself this question. Even if it was your daughter, right? Will you let your daughter just be on the phone from morning to night without checking or doing anything? Like, would you leave her with that phone? If I was in your shoes, what I would do is simple. I am taking your phone away. Like, you're not going to have your phone till maybe at 12 when I know that by then you have finished doing all the cleaning, the washing, you have done everything you have to do. Then I'll give your phone. If you want to fly, you fly. And then also there are ways that you can restrict what she's using on the phone. If you in particular are trying to cut down on your kids' screen time, then you have to know when to give her the phone. You can allocate time periods to give her the phone and tell her that she should not use the phone when the kids are there. If the kids are going near the phone, if she keeps letting the kids look at the phone when she's using the phone, no, you're not going to give her the phone anymore. I feel like when it comes to things with nannies, we get very emotional. Everybody's trying to, oh, I don't want to be that woman that will say that I was wicked to my nanny. I don't want to be. No, if that was your child, how would you treat them? Because I don't know about you exactly. This is exactly how I'm going to treat my kids. If I give my kids phones tomorrow and they are forgetting to do their chores in the house, they spend all their time on the phone, they cannot do any other thing, I'm taking that phone. I'll give you, okay, 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day. That is how I see it. What do you guys think? Because this is something that I have dealt with a lot in my house, especially since I have unlimited internet. Majority of the time when my nannies come and they have this unlimited internet experience, whew, it's not easy. Like my present nanny, she came when she didn't have like an Android phone. Then now she has gotten an Android phone, guys. It's so annoying. It's almost like she's constantly on her phone, constantly looking at her phone, constantly checking and checking. It gets me so pissed. So I've just given her the first warning. You don't touch your phone till this house is spotless. If the house is not spotless and I see you with the phone, you're going to stop bringing your phone when you come to work. It's that simple. The next one says, a friend of mine gave birth. I'll be going over to her place for a while, but apart from pepper soup, I don't really know what else a nursing mother can eat. So I need suggestions on traditional dishes and general food ideas that help with healing for the mother and also increase breast milk flow. Mamas in the house, if you could help with traditional dishes you know from your place and short summary of how to prepare it. Wow, that's not happening. Anyway, when it comes to what they feed, I'm not going to come here and lie to you. I'll tell you what my doctor told me. First of all, when it comes to this increase in breast flow, increase in breast flow, I had talked about this to my doctor because when I had a baby, my mom and my aunt, God rest her soul, my aunt's soul, God rest my beautiful aunt's soul, when they came for Caden, guys, they were pumping me with Ovaltine and Malta and all those things. Pepper soup, it's going to increase your milk flow. But I went to the doctor because I was also worried about my weight. Like, at this rate, I'm going to become a ball. So when I went for my first checkup, I asked the doctor, like, doctor, all these things that they're giving me, is it really, really necessary? Does it really help help in breast flow. And this is what my doctor told me. Those things, I can say it's like a yes and no. And let me explain this. Okay, he says what matters for a woman when you have a baby is that you ensure you eat 3 meals a day. Yeah, 3 square meals, 3 balanced square meals. You're eating your fruits, you're eating your proteins, you're eating all what you have to eat, right? The food should contain all the things it needs to contain. You have to ensure that you're hydrated, because sometimes some people feel like particular kind of food, when you eat particular kind of food, is going to help that. No, he told me that food, as long as you're eating well, a balanced diet, it's going to help with your breast flow. And you also have to ensure you're hydrated. So at the end of the day, it's not that, oh, this particular meal gives increases milk flow, or this particular meal increases milk flow. Because I even tested that. I even tested the theory, because when it came to Myra, there were times that I really did not eat and I'll drink a lot of water and my breast will still flow well. So I feel like all these things that some people say, I feel it's a myth. For me, that's what I think. I feel it's a myth. Maybe if we have any medical practitioner who wants to come and say otherwise, you can come and say it here. Notwithstanding, I'm still going to tell you those things that I was told is going to increase milk flow. So the first thing is they told me granite. So eating like fried groundnuts, eating granite sauce, granite soup, yes, it increases breast flow. And majority of the other things is mostly drinks. They told me if you're drinking Ovaltine, thick cups of Ovaltine, it increases breast flow. If you're taking a lot of Malta, different types, whether it's the Vampu or is the original Malta, or if you're taking any Malta, it increases milk flow. I like, see guys, I'm going to tell you, for me, I don't I really don't believe, but that's what they told me. They told me nuts in particular, different kinds of nuts, it increases breast flow. That's all I can say. If you believe, you can as well go and eat it. But for me, the doctor just said I should ensure I take my 3 square meals a day so that I don't get, because when the child is breastfeeding where you have not eaten, you can get a little woozy, you can even collapse. That was what I just ensured I did, and I was fine. I am no doctor. You do what works for you, because I have this video where I did a review of a breast pump, and a lot of women came on and they were asking me how their breast is not flowing, how can I help to increase breast flow. I really don't know. What I know is when you also pump the breast, the more you pump the breast, the more milk comes out. That's what I know. I am no specialist, like I keep saying. Please, as moms, how do you manage a housekeeper that eats a lot? What kind of meals do you give, and what to feed morning, afternoon, evening, night? Thank you. Okay. This one is always like a huge problem in my house, considering the fact that we don't eat too much. So having a nanny, the first thing you should ask is this nanny, is she, if it, how can I put this? I don't, oh my God, nanny things are always very, very tricky. You have to watch your words. Okay, so when it comes to nanny, first of all, for me, I don't eat too much. In my house, we generally do not eat too much. We are not food people in my house. Majority of the time, you can eat as you want. I don't mind you eating as you want, as long as it does not affect my monthly budget. You understand? I've had nannies before, like I had a nanny before who came to my house, and she it's not, mind you, it's not a stay-in nanny. This nanny was coming and going, and she wanted to cook her own meals, because she was French speaking, she was a francophone, and she always complained to me that I don't cook food like her, I don't cook my traditional meal the way she likes to cook it, I don't cook fried rice the way she likes to cook it, and all that. Like, she always had these complaints about the way I'm cooking and all. So she wanted to be cooking her own food. But when I did all my calculations, excuse me, you cannot be cooking your own food in my house, especially when you're not living in my house. If you're living in my house, it is different. I have to feed you. But if you're only coming and going, me giving you food is a privilege, and you are supposed to accept that privilege. If I cook something and you don't like it, good and fine, just leave it. When you go back to your house, you can eat, you can prepare what you want to eat and eat there. I am not going to go an extra mile, because what I noticed is, if I'm supposed to let this woman cook her own meal while I cook my own meal, excuse me, I'm supposed to top up the amount I use for monthly feeding, and I was not ready to do that. So for me, I feel like it depends. If it's going to affect your monthly budget for feeding, she just has to adapt. When you go to Rome, do what the Romans do. Because I have had nannies before who eat a lot. Generally, I am cooking my small pot of food, and that is the pot of food that we're supposed to eat. I mostly have nannies that come and go. So if you eat here, you're not full. When you go to your house, you can eat here, you'll be full. When it comes to the nannies that stay home, I've had 2 nannies who stayed with me, right? And I discovered very quick for both of them that they were not used to taking the tea and bread, because inside my head, I want to treat you the way I'm treating my kids. I don't want you to feel like I'm leaving you out. So I'll give them tea and bread. And one had just outrightly told me that, Mommy, I'm sorry, but you see this thing that you're doing, like, She told me straight up that, you see this thing that you're asking me to drink bread and tea every morning, I don't get full. And when I don't get full, I cannot work effectively in the morning. So please, is it okay for me to be eating the leftover food? And I was like, by all means, you can eat the leftover food. So that is it. It just depends. If you know that it will not affect you, then you want to go for the heavy food. Majority of these nannies usually come from the village, and in the village they eat like cocoyam, fufu corn in the morning for breakfast. So maybe you want to always cook in a way that you know that in the morning she'll have something heavy like that to eat for breakfast, and then in the afternoon she goes ahead and eats whatever thing you are eating. If you notice that when you make things like spaghetti and those small things that sometimes we like to make, and it's not enough for her, she still is not full, you maybe want to do like, okay, you do her own spaghetti, for example, or her own rice, and you add something to it, like you add like fried plantain. Plantain is expensive. You add like fried plantain and all that. It just depends on you as a mom and how you want to handle it. Because for me, I'll tell you, times are hard, things are really hard. I am not about to increase my monthly budget for feeding because my nanny is eating and is not getting full, especially my nannies who come and go. If I give you food in my house, it's not okay, you're not full, it's okay, just when you go back home you eat. I don't mind if people think I'm being mean because of that, but I'm just being realistic. Times are hard. I always say it. For me, you coming to my house to work and go, and I am giving you a meal, it is a privilege. It is not a right. It is not a right. When I'm working in offices and I go and my boss buys me lunch, it is not a right. My boss is buying the lunch because it's out of the goodness of her heart, which means if tomorrow she doesn't even give me lunch, I'm not going to sit and be like, oh, my boss is wicked, how can my boss not give me food and all that. No. So that is how I see it. Do you guys think I'm mean because of that? Let me know in the comment section, because I know some of you emotional ones can be very, very mean to me. My sister-in-law lives with us, but I noticed that my husband shows her love more than me. Before he gets me or my child anything, she would have gotten for her. He places her above us. It's getting to me. Whenever she's not around, he shows me love. But when his sister comes, she doesn't even bother to check on me. It now seems as if she's my rival. Oh my God, in marriage, choose what battles to fight. For me, this is something really simple. Instead of you looking at her like a rival, make her your friend. This is something I learned in marriage, okay? Make her your friend. See, if you make that sister-in-law your friend, okay, and it's not rivalry, you make her your friend. In like, how can I put this? Okay, your husband comes, and then maybe she's around, your husband comes and he wants to buy some ice cream, for example, and doesn't get yours. If you are friends with that girl and the girl is a good person, trust me, she's going to be like, okay, Oga, so you're buying for me now. What about your beautiful wife? She's going to stick up for you. Instead of you using her like a rival, use this to your advantage. Be nice to her. Make her your friend. In that way, both of you people work together to get anything you want from your husband. Since you already know, oh, this person is my husband, button, okay, we're going to use her to our advantage. Treat her nicely. Don't look at her like a rival. Do not, because looking at her like a rival is instead going to stress things between you and your husband. Look at her like your paddy, your paddy for life, and you're going to gain so much from her. The next one says, good evening. Is it okay to allow my brother-in-law cook in my kitchen? He is very choosy with food and sometimes does not eat some type of food we prepare. So he goes to the kitchen to make them himself. Is it okay? I will be in the comment section. Like I said in the last comment, choose your battles. Choose what battles to fight. I am a picky eater, so I can completely understand. Sometimes, I've said it before, my husband and myself are from two different tribes. So there are certain traditional meals that my husband, if I go like to my husband's mom's house, she cooks and I don't eat. Like, if you know Bayangi people from the Bayangi land, Cameroonians, Bayangi people, right? They like swallow, they like slimy food, like the okras, ogbonos, and things like that. And I do not like it. Like, I cannot, guys, I don't know how I can explain to you how much I do not like slimy food. Like, I really am not a fan of all the slimy food. No, it's not for me. So majority of the time when I go and they cook some of those things, my mother-in-law always says, if you don't eat the things, it's okay, go in and cook. And that is how I would take it. If an in-law of mine comes to the house and I know that this person is a picky eater, I as a picky eater, I understand them very well. So if I notice that you don't want to eat this thing, I don't have any problem with it. if you want to make something for yourself, you make. But sometimes I would do it myself. But if you're one of those people who really does not like to cook, and you know that this person is really, really picky, and no matter what you make, the person might not like, then go ahead. For example, onions. I don't eat onions. And a lot of people always feel like, no, I can just throw it in there and she's not going to notice. I have cooked meals myself that I put a lot of onion inside and I cannot eat it. So a lot of people always feel like if I put it, she'll not notice. I get the smell from the furthest place you put in onions in food. I can get it. Not that I don't eat onions. If you blend it, I can eat it. So majority of the time I go to places, people make sauce and put like onions everywhere. I'm sorry, I cannot eat onions. So I'll not eat it. And at that point, I can decide, okay, I want to go and eat something. If it's in an environment that I feel like people really are making people uncomfortable by doing that, I just go out there and eat somewhere and come back. So that's what works for me. And then the next one, I feel like we should do a whole video on contraception, because this question is on contraception. Do you want a video on contraception? Let's talk about the different types of contraceptions and all that. If you want a video on contraception, okay, just let me know in the comment section and we can do that. Thank you guys very much for watching today's video, and I, your beautiful Kenna, is going to see you on my next one. Okay, love you guys. Bye. Mwah.